We've got some
Hey,
fresh new
this
young
is Luis.
talent
And this
doing
is
some things that I
Luis.
know
And you're
you
listening to the
haven't heard
Content is
before.
Profit podcast.
So, how do businesses and creators like us who did not cheat with hacks and tactics and don't want to be stuck in the content wheel of death? How do we build a modern media team and profit from our content?
In this creators economy, pre-filled templates and content calendars have become the solution for those that are not willing to put in the work and build a real business. Those that get rewarded are the ones that create and control their own process.
That is right. Content can be a distraction or your biggest lever. Here, you learn to develop the systems to create consistently, build trust with your audience, and get the attention of those that are willing to give you money.
Go to contentisprofit.com, get started today, and join the community. Let's go!
Woo!
Hi,
That was
Fonzie.
good. I'm inspired. I woke up. That was my...
You woke up?
Yeah, that is the caffeine that I needed.
Bro, it's 1:30 p.m. What the heck?
Most importantly is today's guest. Oh, I'm so excited. We're going to be talking all about, can you answer the what are you made of question? This is a
Ooh.
whole movement, and we're going to be digging deep
I know.
into it.
There's so many pieces in here. I can't wait to dive in. But before that, Fonzie, do we have a sponsor today?
Indeed, we do. Thank you for asking. And today's sponsor is your own, the BIZBROS. If you produce a long-form piece of content just like this one that you're listening to or watching, and you want a multi-purpose so you can create more of that top-of-funnel awareness,
baby.
slide in the DMs at BIZBROSCO on Facebook, on Instagram.
Let's go. Guys, and do us a favor and follow the show in your favorite platform. It doesn't matter. We are literally everywhere. Go ahead and follow because every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, these episodes are dropping with incredible value for you to move your business and life forward. And yeah, follow us on social media as well at BIZBROSCO.
That is right. And if today's guests help you move one step closer to your goal, please don't forget to share this episode with somebody else because you might be doing the same exact thing for them. And don't forget to leave a 5-star review. Thank you.
Happy Monday! Today we're bringing back for the second time one of the Content is Profit Hall of Famers. Last time he shared all about turning your setbacks into rocket fuel and the commitment needed to reach out your goals.
Today's guest is the CEO of People Building and the powerhouse behind the What Are You Made Of movement. And let me tell you, you better jump on that train if you are ready to break free from the complacency and achieve untapped levels of success.
That's right. He's also a performance coach, public speaker, visionary, thought leader, and author of Rocket Fuel, a book that will ignite the fire inside of yourself to finally see your greatness. You better be ready. After these conversations, you'll be ready to take on any challenge that may come your way.
Please welcome Yahoo Finance top business leader to follow in 2020, your rocket fuel igniter and leader of the What Are You Made Of movement, Mike C-Roc. Woohoo! Let's go.
What's happening? What's happening? Fellas, great to be back, man. Thank you so much for having me again. Thank you to the audience for showing up. I'm ready to get this thing started, man, and I got a lot of big news to bring to you guys.
Oh,
Yes.
can't wait, man. First of all, for those that I want to please put in your queue episode 87 so you get to know Mike even deeper. You know what he's going to share about today. But I love the new setup you got going on there, man. The studio's looking nice.
Thank you. This is a product of my wife being so sick of me being in the dining room and telling the kids to be quiet. And, you know, look, when I first started the podcast, man, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just knew I wanted to do it. I got my laptop, my microphone, headset, and camera, and rolled. And it had just so happened the best place was the dining room. And, you know, the kids were at home and, you know, being loud, and my wife, and I'm like, shh, God, I got a podcast going on. And I just got sick of it. So my wife took her real estate. She's a real estate agent. She took her real estate commissions. She spent probably about 60 grand and made this awesome, like, you can't see the whole thing right now, but it's just, I have the pool, the ocean right out here.
Wow.
Ocean City, Maryland. Like, it's just phenomenal.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I'm very fortunate to have that. And sometimes you just got to annoy people enough until they want to do something nice for you.
Until they want to build a podcast studio for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, you know, it's episode almost 200 and my wife has not given me a studio. I'm just saying. No, I'm kidding. No, but I love it because, you know, a lot of people that listen to the show, right, they might be starting to publish and they have no idea. They think they have to start with like this high-end crazy studio where in reality, really what you need is like your camera, potentially your phone, phone only, and then do it as frictionless as possible.
The
and then
commitment
the
too.
commitment, right? Like it's gonna evolve to wonderful things, which you will be sharing in just a second, right? And but yeah, a quick recap, right? For those that maybe are not tuning into episode 87, right? What's a very quick recap of who's Mike?
Yeah, man. I mean, just gosh, I came from a broken home, not hanging around, but just grew up around a lot of broken people, drug addicts, alcoholics, suicide, anxiety, depression takers, like medicine takers and overdosers and abuse, like a lot of things. And just throughout that whole time, I just never bought into the people's excuses that they were telling themselves of why they were doing these things.
Yeah.
I always thought that there had to be a better way and that they were just seeing things the wrong way. And from a young age, for some reason, I just saw that. And so from a young age, all my whole life, I was always trying to help and fix people and guide them in the right direction, help build people. And, now I came to about 2 years ago, I came to a realization where I need to like play a bigger game. I'm not playing a big enough game. I'm not making a big enough impact. And when you're not making a big enough impact and you have more in you, you will feel it. Yeah. I started feeling like anxious and something's not right. I just didn't fit in. Something wasn't clicking.
Yeah.
And once you find that, which is your purpose or your mission, man, you're unstoppable. And so that's what happened to me. I noticed that throughout my life, no matter what happened to me, the setbacks, disappointments, discouragements, my own screw ups, I started to realize no matter what happened to me, I kept elevating. And I had to really figure this out. I was trying to figure out what was this all about. And what I found, fellas, was I was taking all this nasty toxicity and I was storing it in my tank, my fuel tank, instead of my trunk where most people keep it. And that's where it weighs you down and slows you down and stops you. I was keeping it in my fuel tank so I can convert it into rocket fuel for my future and become unstoppable, which, look, we got to get to outer space away from gravitational pull because there's so many suppressing things trying to pull on us. And once we get out to that place, that's where we're all shooting for.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier and we can help more people. So one thing about that, guys, too, just so you know, I mean, my book, Rocket Fuel, came out bestseller. Grant Cardone wrote the foreword, as you know, and I'm very proud of that book because it's inspired people all over the world already.
Yeah.
And there's a message in the book about taking toxicity and converting it into rocket fuel, haters, discouragement, all that stuff. But then I also realized after I wrote the book, most recently, after talking to my coach, one of my coaches, that at some point in your life, your engine becomes more refined. So you go from like a Ford engine, nothing against Ford, but like a Ford Focus, right, to a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or some kind of engine, like really refined engine. And that toxic fuel that used to fuel your motor, your engine, isn't working anymore. And so there's some kind of line where you cross where you have to look for higher octane fuel, more powerful, more clean fuel. And that fuel, what I found is, because when you're refined more, you have a higher belief lid. You believe that you can accomplish more. You see that thoughts create actions and thoughts create things.
Yeah.
The things that start to fuel you are the things that you start to shoot for, your targets, your goals, your dreams. And that stuff starts pulling you and it's faster and it gives more thrust than the old toxicity. So I didn't have that in a book. I just really worked on that recently. And maybe another book is in the works.
Yes, let's go. Mike, first of all, congrats on the bestseller and the book. I remember last time you came into the show, you were in the process about launching, and it's incredible to see the whole momentum, right? Like not only on the publishing side of things, but your business and how things have really exploded. Now, going with what you were just mentioning about the fuel, right? Like you described these very specific scenarios with there's some toxicity going around when we might be starting up, right? And that fuels our way. Do you find that that's very common, or because we can hear many people out there saying, okay, well, I have big, massive goals, and that's really what starts to push me at the very beginning, right? Should we grab onto that, or should we dive into really the things that are happening today that might cause that initial greed, right? Because we've described in our journey that how we started 5-6 years ago was because we needed the money, right? We had that initial greed necessity to eat, right? And at some level, that stays quite there, but then priority starts to change, right? And for us, it has, right? And you started playing bigger, right? And for us, when we launched the show, that was bigger than ever before for us. And things have evolved quite nicely, and it continued to evolve. Now, what do you say to those people that might be ignoring that initial phase of things that might be happening on your day to day, but are blinded and are so focused on the big goals, right? Like, hey, I want to make, let's say the first goal, right, $1 million, right? Or I want to buy that massive house so I can go and take my family there, instead of maybe smaller things that we can grab onto and grab momentum very quicker.
Well, it's all a system. So you have the big giant target goal. And then the little things like that are like micro targets, I would call them, or road markers along the way that give you something to measure off of, right?
Yeah.
So that's the basics of it, man. I mean, you just have little markers, mile markers that you're looking to hit as you're going to your big goal. Now, I will tell you though, too many people are just so focused on incremental gains, because a lot of coaches tell you that, man, just make it one step at a time, incremental. That's great, and you need to do that, but you got to be really careful to not close off to a big giant quantum leap.
Yeah.
Like, if you're so focused and you think that the only way to get there is little tiny steps, which is fine. You got to do that. Like I said, sometimes you may miss the opportunity that you could advance. Like, there's a board game where it says go directly to somewhere. You draw a card or something. It says go directly to jail, or not jail, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you got to be open to those kind of things.
Yeah.
And that's something that's changed everything for me, because, man, lately, I started thinking I got to get someplace, and I was doing the grind, and I was so closed off to something happening like that and get into a place where, like, holy cow, how did I get here?
Yeah.
That fast. Now, I started opening up to that. I read a book called U Squared. I'm not promoting this or anything, but it helped me. U Squared.
Yeah. And
it talks about being open to quantum leaps and understanding that it's not always a grind. You don't have to always grind and work your ass off and burn out. You don't always have to do that. There's better ways to do things. And it goes back to, like, one of my coaches taught me this, is that, shout out to Richie Dolan, like there's precedents, right? That's precedents versus principle. Precedents is looking back and figuring, like, seeing how things were done before, comparing it to what you've done before in the past, your past experiences, comparing it to other people, versus principle, where you're thinking there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a faster way. There's got to be even an easier way, and start focusing on that. Most people are focused on the precedents. And so, there's all kinds of little tips and tricks that I've learned being around in proximity to super successful people and coaches that have helped elevate me. And now I'm looking to do that for other people.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love the precedent versus principle. This is something that we tackled too in the content world, right? We started noticing at first we were very focused on the shiny object syndrome, right? And we were just literally looking for the quick wins. How can we what is the next hack, the next tactic that we can use, right? We were looking at other people and said, what is working for them? Let us try that. And then when it didn't work for us, or maybe when we didn't try long enough, we would look the other way and try to find another one, right? We weren't being consistent at all. And it wasn't actually until we started seeing a pattern and we started seeing some principles behind publishing and behind creating content consistently that we decided, let's stick to this for the long run, right? And then we started putting that thought that you said, right? How can I make this better? How can I make it more efficient? And that's when things started kicking out for us, just getting better. So I love this, the way the precedents versus principles. And I want to challenge you, the listener, right now, to ask yourself, am I just taking the precedent point of view on things right now in my business? Am I just looking for other people to hand me the solution? Or am I working on these principles? Am I trying to find a better way, trying to innovate? I love how you put it on, don't close down the opportunity of a quantum leap. And it's funny because I was listening to episode 87, right? Our first conversation, and we're actually talking about taking those small steps. One of the quotes that we mentioned was, small steps beats big dreams. But I love the fact now that you mentioned to like, hey, there's a possibility out there that one day you need to take that big leap, and you need to have your doors open for that, right? And be prepared for that. I think that is extremely important.
Yeah, Mike, speaking of quantum leaps, you mentioned something behind cameras that you are getting ready to launch. Is this part of your quantum leap?
Yeah, so let me tell you a story. So speaking of content and social media and what have you, I've had a journey with Instagram and growing my Instagram, and using it to reach out to people for the podcast or reaching out to people just to meet and connect with. And I reached out to this one gentleman, and I would send consistent DMs out to people that I wanted to connect with. And there was a guy named Jared Yellen, and he doesn't have a huge Instagram following or anything. He just looked, intriguing to me because of his story that he had on there. And I reached out to him, and he just so happened to answer. And he said he doesn't usually do that. And we ended up doing an Instagram live together, and we hit it off. And our purpose in life, which is to level the playing field and create unstoppable people, aligned. And I found out what he does, which basically he takes non-tech entrepreneurs and helps them become tech co-founders. So most ideas for tech come from inefficiencies around your everyday life, things you would complain about. Now, you shouldn't complain, but if you were thinking of something, you're like, damn, that doesn't make any sense. Why is that got to be like that? And then you write an idea down of, okay, here's a complaint, here's a problem.
Yeah.
What could be the solution? And most people get these ideas, right? And I think we've all done it, and we don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
We don't take action because maybe we don't know how, we don't have connections, we don't have resources, we don't have the know-how. And that idea goes to the grave, or somebody else comes up with it and makes $1 billion company or multi-billion-dollar company, right?
Yeah.
So we are trying to put an end to that. And his company was called CeeLo Labs, right? And I got talking to him about people building and what I wanted to accomplish. And he started thinking about it and said, you know what, let's do a tech product around this. And, there's a lot of digital training courses out there. There's a lot of coaching programs and all this stuff. And we were thinking, like, what is wrong with those things? Why are people still going to events? Why are people paying for coaching? Why are people taking courses and still not elevating? What is the problem? And what we found is that, and by the way, I'm ferociously a proponent for figuring this out. Yeah. Like, people have to get results, man. People have to start elevating. Like, we got to stop having people make all this money, coaches, creators, influencers, trainers, consultants, all making money without the concern of their clients elevating and achieving. So what we found is if people just knew what the steps were, what's the first step to accomplishing something? What do you do after step 1? When you get to step 3, if this happens, what do you do? Or if this happens, what do you do? And how many hours should I devote to this, whatever I'm trying to accomplish, this task each day? What's the big picture look like? How many damn steps are there? Yeah. If everybody had that picture clear as day, the blueprint to the success in anything they wanted, any vertical, any industry, or what have you, they would be able to achieve success and elevate. And so what we created is a new product called Blueprinted. We use BLOO printed. And if you go to blueprinted.com, you can check it out, put your email in there, and we'll keep you up to date with the launch. But you're going to want to do this because this product is basically a project management / social media / marketplace for people to come in that have had success in any vertical or any industry. Yeah. They can reverse engineer it step by step. They can build it, or we can build the blueprint. We have a creator studio. It's phenomenal. You guys wait till you see this thing.
Can't wait.
And when they do that, then we're going to help market it. They can market it, and they can sell their blueprint into the world. Yeah. And so, one of the things I'm very proud about with this is that we set out to do it, and we made it happen very quickly. Yes. And in August, it's going to go live, and there's a launch. And what we're looking for right now is about 250 founding member blueprinters to get their blueprints in there, and who are serious about making a difference in the world and not just making money, but they want to see their customers and their clients elevate. If you're interested in that, you can DM me on Instagram at Mikey C-Roc. But that's what we're looking for right now, and we're fired up about this, obviously.
That's so exciting, Mike. Well, first of all, I want to highlight the fact on how you connected with this guy. By the way, our dog is super excited too. You can see partying in the back here. But the fact that it was through a DM, right? People do not pay attention to these things, right? Or are proactive as they should be. And if I remember correctly, that was the same way that we got you on the show for the first time. It was an Instagram DM, right? And it's like, can we be proactive to go get the things that we really want, right? Connection, relationships. What is it, right? What can I add of value to you, and then vice versa? And then you found this incredible partner, right? And now you're solving a problem that's out there, right? Because I go back to our first mastermind that we invested together, right? It was $25K that we did not have, right? That's a lot of money. And it was like, what? And then we dove in, right? We worked our ass off, and it panned out. it worked out really well because we stuck to it. But at the same time, we know of a lot of people that were in that program that they did not get results. Why is that? Was it the material? Was it the person that were not putting in the work? I don't know. That's up to them to figure out. But for us, it meant everything, right? So I love that you're bringing something to market where people can follow those blueprints and be like, okay, it's, is this really for me? Can I actually go do it? And at the end of the day, what the ethics behind putting information out there, right? Like you mentioned, there's a lot of noise today, especially in this online world of stuff that people that put stuff out there with no results. There's really good marketing, but at the end of the day, you're not helping anybody. Like you're helping yourself, right? Yeah. And that's very dear to us because we focus on the principles and the foundations, right? Like we said it on the intro. There's these hacks and tactics, right? It's like they won't get you places, especially in content. So that's why we feel so passionate. I love the fact that you guys made that quantum leap, like personally you tackled this challenge and made it happen.
Well, hold on. That's not the quantum leap. That's just like a hop skip, right? All right. Here's the leap. So just imagine if Jared Yellen didn't answer that DM, or if I didn't send it, right?
Yeah.
First of all, we wouldn't have this launch coming up. Secondly, from there, I'm connected with the 10X community. I've invested in a lot of Grant Cardone's products. Used them, had super success with them, developed relationships inside the organization, and have helped spread that message, the 10X message, because I believe in it. I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen what it can do. And I tried to think about, besides just giving money and buying more products and using the products, what could I do to really make an impact? And I couldn't figure out at first. I just was committed to I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do something that's going to blow their business up like they've never seen before, but I got to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
So then I got started thinking, Jared, my partner in Blueprinted, his mission is to start 10,000 tech companies in 10 years in his tech incubator. Oof. And I'm like, man, that's a big goal, right? And I'm not afraid to shoot big.
Yeah.
and I don't ever count anybody out when they try to think big. But I was still thinking, how the heck are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Because I want to be a part of this. But and I started thinking about the Cardone connection. And I'm like, who on the planet would be the better to somehow link up with this and create an opportunity that would really, really put this into play. And so I reached out to my friend, Jared Glant, who's the president of Cardone, and said, hey man, I got a guy I want you to meet. Just hear him out. I think that, we'll paint this picture for you and it'll just blow you away. And he was, cordial enough to take the invitation. So I connected the two Jareds up, Jared Glant, Jared Yellen. And they hit it off right away. And this doesn't happen that often, guys. It's not easy to get a meeting with Grant Cardone, right?
Yeah, nope.
And Jared got a meeting with Grant Cardone. Wow. And when he painted the picture of 10,000 tech companies and having his help and involvement with the marketing and the push and getting the word out and get out of obscurity with it, it just super speeded everything for us. And now we have started the connection for the new company that they put together of 10X Incubator.
Cool.
And you can check that out as well because that's on 10xincubator.com. And these guys now we're focused on really going after this 10,000 tech companies in 10 years with the help of the 10X movement and Grant Cardone himself. So that's the quantum leap. And that's where we're going to go to taking people to the next level to become tech entrepreneurs that never thought they'd be in tech.
Let's go.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. Mike, something again, that resonates from the last conversation we were talking about at that point about the frictionless sale. And you said for you, the fastest way for a frictionless sale was relationships, right? And right now, we're not talking specifically about the frictionless sale, but we're talking about the selling the idea, right? Selling the dream to Grant Cardone's network. And what I see as well is relationship, the power of relationship, right? That you had with them, that you've built, that you spend time nurturing. So what is, holding on people to build this type of relationships, right? Because especially it feels like sometimes you can just smell it, that people just reach out to you for something, right? And I don't want this to get mistaken because you reach out to Jared with the intent of getting to know him and you're like, hey, this guy has potential. And then you guys connect and you reach out to the other one because you have something in there that was beneficial for everybody. But how can people get in the mindset of, cultivating powerful relationships without being too needy, right? Making it a win for everybody.
Well, first of all, it's meeting people just to meet people and get to know them, right? Like the one thing that I really take pride in is getting people a chance to share who they are, what they do, what they're about with me. Because the more they do that, then I can think about connections later on. Like one of my superpowers is connecting people to do big things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I look for that constantly. How can I meet more people? I crave that, by the way. Like I crave connection with people. I want to meet people. I want to hear what their story is. I want to hear what they are into. And then that way I can think later on, okay, what can I do to help them? Who can I connect them with?
Yeah.
But not only that, like if you have that in mind and that's your intention, when you need something, those people are there for you. And, you know, for me, you got to know, the whole time for me is like, I was looking at trying to grow our mortgage company that I have, a division of, 30 some employees, and we're trying to elevate, and we're just trying to look for more information and more ways that we can, learn how to sell and learn how to run a business. And that's how we got involved with Grant and his team and all that. And then from there, investing in their products and then sharing the success of how that worked with them constantly to help build them up. And we took responsibility on our shoulders to be successful with their content.
Yeah.
And help and elevate them by sharing that with the world. And that just elevates things. And then to get Grant to write the forward for my book, I mean, that didn't take just an ask. That took a commitment for me to do it. Then it took $75,000 to get that done because he didn't want to do it for free and charge for his time. And I did not make $75,000 directly from book sales. Yeah. And obviously the value in that is now coming up with what we're going to be doing together now.
Absolutely.
But I didn't just come up with and pay $75,000 myself. I rounded up my troops, my partners, my best friends that are in the business, in the mortgage business with me, and said, hey guys, you want to be involved with this? And they all pitched in. And so there was a lot of relationship capital built into everything that's been happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so powerful. Oh man, like I love this topic of relationship. I think is literally the one thing that will help people. Like it's not the funnel. Like those things help, but relationships is just the principle at the end of the day, right? When we're talking about precedents and principles, like relationship is one of those principles that are going to just help you do things in a better way, right? You're not only getting access to capital, right? You're getting access to now new ideas too, new opportunity lenses. Each one of them are going to see the opportunity in a different way. And then when it comes to scaling, Blueprinted or 10xincubator.com, like that is going to just affect the whole environment. It's just going to pretty much, rocket fuel it, right? It's literally that.
Yeah. Look at the impact this is going to have on not just the 10x community, but there's tech people that never heard of me, never heard of Grant Cardone. Yep. Can you believe that or not? And it's going to widen their audience, but the impact it's going to have on millions of people because of that one direct message.
Yep.
Yeah. We talk about the hourglass effect, right? Like this is the quantum hourglass effect where, from that conversation that you just got, like how many people, right? Like not only the people directly related to the companies that you guys get to help, but the solutions that those companies are going to bring to market. Like, wow. Like, once we think that way, right? Like, because we tend to think it like when we're starting our business, like we tend to think it about like our own stuff. And, we relate this topic when we launched the 45 Live Challenge. People are concerned about the one viewer, right? Like, because, well, why am I not getting 100, 1,000, 10,000, right? Man, you're impacting one life, right? And then that person is going to turn around and help two others. And then those two are going to turn around and do that. At the scale that you guys are doing this, it's insane because it's so massive, right? So I appreciate you for sending that message, for creating that connection, for pushing through, for investing in that relationship. And I think this is an example that every single person in business or in general, right, needs to follow because good things happen. We live in a world of abundance. There's enough for everybody and more, right? So I love how you've chased the opportunity, how you are playing bigger, how you are relentless in your pursuit of these things and your goals and objectives. And I'm sure that this is gonna serve us and many other people and entrepreneurs to continue to play bigger, right? And search that quantum leap. So thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
I'm curious on what are the next steps on this project that you guys have, right? I mean, again, last episode we talked about setting massive goals, right? You want to set massive goals and then micro targets so you can accomplish that. What is part of, what are those massive goals that you guys are establishing, and maybe, you know, some of those micro targets that maybe we or the audience can help you guys with?
Yeah, so Blueprinted, first of all, that's the product that's coming out this August. First of all, we set out a target for 18 months from now to have 100 million in sales. Basically 100 million by 18 months. That would put it at $1 billion valuation for tech. And that is going to happen by just systematically and incrementally going after top thought leaders, creators, consultants, trainers, and having them understand the importance of being one of the first 250 to 500 to have blueprints on this platform. You know, any social media comes out and any new platform comes out, it is imperative to be the first or one of the first to pop in there to grab up real estate and eyes and attention. And that's what this is going to be as well, because it's going to be a system like, you know, there's going to be followers and all that as well. And so for as far as the listeners go, if you're a trainer, coaching, consulting, whatever, and you have a book, you have a training program, you have a digital course, you need a blueprint. Every single person that is in some kind of consultation, training, or coaching, or creator or influencer that works with people needs to have a blueprint. If they don't have a blueprint, their course material may not work. So that's the way we're taking the approach on it. Every single person needs one. We're not going to quit on anyone. And if you want to be one of the first, all you have to do is reach out and DM me on Instagram, Mikey, C-R-O-C, Mikey C-Roc, and we'll set up a call and discuss it, because we need you. And by the way, anybody that comes in and puts a blueprint in there, we're going to help them. We can create the blueprint for them with their content if they don't want to build it themselves, which I advise. And then from there, we're going to help market their blueprints for them.
Yeah.
I think you guys are bringing a wonderful opportunity for everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna leave all the links in the description, how to reach out to you in the description.
Expect a DM from us too. Just saying. Just gonna put it out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, how could we be part of this opportunity, man? Like, we're gonna definitely put a blueprint in there.
Yeah. Hi, Jude. This has been incredible. Thank you again for coming back. It's been so fun to see the evolution of the conversation from that first time that you came into the show, and we literally saw what you preach happen within you. So I really encourage everybody to go back, listen to that episode, now come back and then go and continue to follow the journey. Go to the sites that we're going to put right below. Invest, put in, find out, like jump on the calls, right? Follow the what Mike says on his book, Rocket Fuel, right? Like we're going to put the link right below as well, because we literally saw it happen. Like and it's been happening for you, Mike. You've been working on it since the beginning of your story, right? Like it's from all these setbacks, and now the wonderful things that are happening. So, I mean, I don't think there's a better blueprint.
Can I just tell you though, like when I first started, and it's just like this for everybody. When you first start, you believe before you see, but you still you just can't imagine exactly like that it's going to happen the way you're envisioning. So I want to challenge everybody, because you got to believe before you see, and if you continue to think and obsess about it, it will happen.
Yep.
And what I did was I told everybody when I first started, if you go back to my earliest podcasts, I told everybody that I wanted to share the journey, because the journey to success is often invisible. And I wanted to share this journey with everyone. And it's so funny that I said that and I thought that and I lived that. And then now you're saying that you sat and watched it from the first episode that I was on with you till now. You saw the difference, and that's my goal, because it's not about me. This is about exemplifying how you can do something for other people to be able to elevate.
Yeah, I love it, man.
I love it. I love how what you just mentioned right now translates into blueprint as well, right? That is, how can we set it up for other people to win and for them to have success? So, man, thank you so much for sticking to your vision and your goals and making it happen. I'm sure you guys will get more than the people that you guys want in that platform. You guys are going to get definitely more of that 100 million in 18 months. And dude, we're going to be We're going to be right there. Anything, doors are open. Anything you need, man. Just,
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
just
go,
let us
guys.
know.
Yeah. All right, so as we wrap up the show, 2 last questions is one, what will be an action point for somebody that's in the entrepreneurial journey, right? Like they might be just starting, they might be having a job and starting this venture on the side. What is something that they can do today to grab more momentum?
First of all, elevation comes from 2 things, which one is assessment. You really need to understand where you are at point A before you get to point B. You need to know, like, what are my finances like? What is my career like? What is my activity level like? How's my health? How's my finances? How's my family and relationships? How's my spirituality? All these things you need to assess right now. Because if you don't know where you are right now, you don't know how far it's going to be to get to point B. You don't know what the materials and the energy and resources and money is going to go into getting to bridge that gap. So that's one, assessment. And you should be assessing as often as possible. I assess every single night, and at the end of the week, and at the end of the month, and at the end of the quarter. Every opportunity that I can assess where I am and what I'm doing is imperative to elevation. Second is proximity. Get in proximity to people that are where you want to be or doing what you want to do, that have been done it. And that'll save you time and money.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the 3 C's, man. Clarity of exactly what you want. Visualize it and believe it with all your heart and obsess about it. Commit with burn the ship's commitment. And then the next thing is consistency. And that consistency needs to be greater than your emotions, greater than when things get tougher. Consistency matters more than anything. And so when you don't feel like doing it, when it gets tough, you still do it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's how you get 100% participation from yourself.
I love it.
Let's go.
Recap. Assess constantly, right? Proximity. And then the 3 C's, clarity, commit, and consistency. If you're looking for Mike's words, go back to minute 34. Whole recap, is right there. Or go to the YouTube channel. It's going to be right there as well. Mike, last question. Where would you be if you did not publish? If you didn't start publishing right there from the living room next to the kiddos?
Just like everyone, if you don't change what you're doing or give something up, you're going to stay right where you are. Matter of fact, there's a thing called gravity in life. That could be like age, it could be the economy, it could be the government, it could be numerous things that pull you down. So to me, if you're not changing or giving something up, you're going to stay right where you are on a flat graph, which will eventually fall. And so that, for me, that's where I would be. And I'm so thankful that I made the decision to play a bigger game and impact people. And you guys have helped me with having me on your show, and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Where can people find you? Where can people connect? I know we mentioned it a couple of times on the show, but let's recap.
Yeah, Instagram, but also Clubhouse. I'm getting ready to launch a barrage of Clubhouse rooms, consistently talking about this issue of people getting knowledge, learning, coached, but not implementing and not elevating. And I want to really put a dent in this, and we need to start talking about this topic more. So check me out on Clubhouse and Instagram.
Awesome. Sweet. Fonzie, anything else you want to add?
No, Mike, thank you so much for everything. This was, once again, inspiring, man. Again, it's just rocket fuel.
Let's go.
That's what you portray, man. That's the energy that you share with people. It's just rocket fuel. When I listen to you, I just want to go and take even more action than what we're taking. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys. Great job. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys, let me know. Reach out. I really appreciate you guys, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Sweet. With that said, thank you so much for tuning into the Contents Profit Podcast. Go ahead and follow the show on your favorite platform and on social media at BIZBROS Go.
That is right. And if Mike here helped you get one step closer to your goal, please don't forget to share this episode and don't forget to leave a 5-star review. See ya.
Bye, guys.